everyone, my name is Yvonne and I'm going to be teaching you how to make pom-poms as part of the Oxford Fiber Festival. You can find all the materials that you'll need in the Take and Make kits that you can pick up at the Lafayette County and Oxford Public Library. And you can also find these materials at home. So let me start by showing you what materials we're going to use. I'm going to be teaching you how to make different types of pom-poms with different techniques. So we'll use cardboard, and as you can see, depending on what kind of cardboard you use and how much yarn you wrap around, you'll achieve different sizes. Also, I'm going to show you the fork technique to make mini pom-poms, and we'll also be using a Pom Pom Maker that you can find in any craft store, or I bought this one from Amazon. We're going to be needing cardboard. You can use a shoebox, the back of a calendar, or what I'm going to be using today is the back of an old notebook. As you can see here, these discs were cut out of the back of a calendar. It's a little bit thicker than these ones. These discs are from the back of this notebook. So we'll start by choosing something that is circular. The size of the circle will determine the size of the pom-pom. So all of these ones were made with this circle. So trace it around with your pencil. And then you'll need a smaller circle at the center. You can use a coin, or in my case here, I'm using this little bottle. And you don't want it to be too small because you want your yarn to go through the hole. And then we're just gonna cut this. So first, what I do is I just cut a square around it so that it's easy to manipulate. So cut your circle, and then to make the cut in the smaller circle, just cut it through, and it's going to look like a donut. So cut the small circle in the center, and then you want to make another horizontal cut, just 1/2 inch or so from the first one, just to make an entrance into the center hole. All right, so I've already cut 2 here, right? And to cut the second one, my advice would be to take the first one, trace it into your cardboard again so that they're identical in size. All right, so once you have the 2 discs, take your yarn, put the 2 discs together, one on top of each other, right? Take your yarn, and I find it easy to work with small balls of yarn. So put the yarn on top of the disc, hold it with your thumb, and just start wrapping it around. And it doesn't need to start all of the way at the beginning, just start more, just a little bit in and all the way to here, so that it's easier to get it through the hole. So we go around and around. It doesn't have to be super neat. I tried to make it as neat as possible just because then the strings are all gonna be pretty much the same length. So when I finish the pom-pom, I'm gonna have less trimming to do. But if you just wanna go and do it not in a very organized manner all over the place, that's fine. All you need to do at the end is just trim your pom-pom so that all the strings are pretty much the same length. All right, and you can wrap it as many times as you want. You can even do different colors. The more you wrap it around, the thicker your pom-pom will be. So look what I did here. As I said, you don't have to go all the way around. I just went from here to here, left that space empty. That's totally fine because I'm gonna group all the strings at the center. So if you wanted to do one with different colors like this one, all you do is just cut the yarn, just hold it with your finger and start with a new yarn right on top. You don't need to tie it or anything. If you want a third color, the same thing. You cut the second color and hold it with your thumb and start wrapping the next color on top. All right, so once we are done with that stage, we're gonna cut now a string about this length. I'm going to put it in between the 2 discs, just at the tip. So I'm gonna keep it ready. We're gonna wrap that around once I cut all the yarn that I've wrapped around. But I like to get it started so that when all of those are cut, they're gonna come off the disc, right? So I do this in advance so that I have it ready. All right, so hold it from the bottom, from the part where your disc is open, and with your scissors, you're gonna go in between the discs and cut it. This is where you need a really sharp pair of scissors, especially if you're making one of those really thick pom-poms, because you're gonna have a lot of yarn wrapped around and it's gonna be really hard to get through. And if you have one of your kids doing this, this is a part where you may want to help them. All right, so make sure that they don't come off. They're all cut in half, so they're gonna easily come off if you don't hold them. Put it on the table, and my yarn had come off a little bit off the disc. All right, so you're putting that yarn that we had cut earlier through those two discs. Here it is. Oh, this one didn't get in. There we go. All right, so they're both on this end. We're just gonna tie a basic knot really tight and do a second one. And that's it, right? Tie it really tight. Make sure you don't pull too strong though, because otherwise you can accidentally cut the yarn. Pull the discs off, hold the two yarns together, and just shake it off. And there it is. All right, and then to make sure that they're all the same length, just trim it. There it is. All right, so this one, as I said, is not very fluffy because to make the video short, I just wrap it around a few times. You would have to go a lot longer. This one was made with the exact same disc, but I wrapped it around a lot more times. This one over here was made with these discs, which are pretty much the same size, but I did it with 3 colors, so much thicker. All right, and then the next one I'm gonna show is this one, a mini pom-pom that I'm going to do with a fork. So I'm gonna show this technique. First, cut a piece of yarn. Make sure that you don't do what I just did there, which is to go into this part of the fork. You just want to do it here. To make the video short, we're going to cut it. And now, with the 2 pieces of yarn that you had placed there at the beginning, we're going to go through the center of the fork and tie a knot. So it makes like a little bow tie, you see that? I'm gonna do another knot just to keep it secure. All right, there we go. And we're gonna keep those 2 together. That's where we're gonna hang the pom-pom from. Take this off, slide it off your fork. You see the bow tie shape? And then I'm gonna go on each side and cut those strings. So put your scissors through and cut them off. All right, that's all on that side, and now we do the other side. There we go. Pull them 2 together and shake it off. And of course, some of them are gonna be different lengths, so you'll just have to trim it. All right, so I wanna show you one that I have already trimmed here so you can see how they turn out. They're very fluffy and a lot thicker. All right, and the last technique is using these Pom Pom Makers. They come in different sizes. This is a set of 3. This is the biggest, and then the one that Sophie was using is the middle one. So I'm gonna show you how to get started with this one. You'll put the colorful sides open. They're gonna go together. Put the yarn on top, hold it with your thumb, and then just start wrapping it around. And you'll go all the way Again, it doesn't have to be in an organized way, but I usually try to go all the way here with one layer, then go all the way back and so forth. I do usually 3 or 4 layers. All right, once you finish one side, I'm gonna show you the one that Sophie had done. So she had already finished one side. You see how thick it is? All right, so now we're ready to close it. So to close it, we'll go in between that little opening there. Close it. You'll bring it in front, so there again, go through the opening, pass it to this side, and we'll start wrapping on this side. All right, once this one is done, you'll just cut it off and close it. And then you'll take your scissors and cut through, starting from here, just like we did with the cardboard method. This side, turn it over, cut this side, you'll put a string around it, tie it, and then you just open it, right? And take these things off just like you would do with the cardboard discs. All right, so let me show you some of the examples. As I said, you can do them in one color or multicolors, the little mini pom-poms with the forks. Let me show you some examples of things that you can do with this pom-pom. So you can make a pom-pom wreath. These ones are made by artisans in Peru, and they're done by just gluing these pom-poms into a floral wreath. As you can see, each of them are multicolor. You can also put them hanging from your purses, your bags, like this. This one's is just in dark colors, or make them colorful. You can also just take the ends of your pom-poms and separate the fibers to make them a little bit curlier like that. So here's another example. My daughter put hers in her backpack, just a few pumpkins to decorate. And then let me show you one more time. If you follow me here, I'll show you a garland made of pom-poms that is, you can use it for birthday parties or for Christmas decorations if you use Christmas colors, etc. So that is my last example. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, I'll make sure that they give you my email address so that you can ask me any questions you may have. Bye, see y'all.